This is our last video of The Digital Child. We're going to continue talking about video games. So the role of gender. Well, most video games are made by and marketed toward males. Though the gap is closing, boys tend to play and desire video games more than girls do. Interesting fact, adult women represent more of the gaming market than boys under 18. So that means that adult women are playing more than boys. It's different types of games, but we can't just ignore female gamers. Games tend to be marketed toward men, and game design mostly reflects their preference, probably because most games are designed by men. For example, games usually emphasize winning, scoring points, and performing feats with speed and accuracy. Most professionals in the gaming industry are male, but that is slowly changing. If you're familiar with the game Journey, it was a very critically acclaimed game. Women were highly involved in its development, including its creative director. And if you play Journey, you'll see that it's very different than most games on the market, and that's probably because so many women were involved. So we said that to be effective, the player needs to be able to identify with their character. So gamers tend to prefer games where the protagonist is an idealized version of themselves. The large majority of games have a male protagonist. When female characters are included in the game design, either as the lead or as a supporting role, they usually have unrealistic physical attributes designed to appeal to the male gender. But more and more games are letting the players choose or even customize the leading character, because it's always better to have the player identify with the main character. There are gender differences in game preference. Boys tend to prefer themes of aggression, such as shooting or fighting to achieve goals. They like graphic, non-verbal feedback. And when they are asked to design their own game, they will design good versus evil scenarios with evil villains to conquer, treasures to be found, and enemies to be fought. They like fantasy settings where they can increase their character's skills and strength in order to defeat enemies. In adventure games, they don't care if the puzzles and tasks are part of the story. They're happy just to accumulate points. They don't care if it adds to the story. Girls, however, prefer non-aggressive themes. They like problem solving and emphasis on cooperation over competition. They like verbal, non-violent feedback. For example, they like to just return to a previous point rather than die and have a game over screen. So when asked to design their own game, girls tend to choose cooperative narratives. They have very few evil characters or good versus evil themes. Instead, the action in their games comes from solving problems and overcoming obstacles. They like realistic situations and settings, virtual dollhouses, games such as The Sims. And in adventure games, they prefer if the puzzles and tasks are integral to the story. They want to feel like the puzzles they're doing are part of the story. So, the benefits of media, to sum up. For younger children, media can help with literacy skills. For example, children can start learning letters of the alphabet through programs like Play School and Sesame Street, or through educational computer games and apps like Teach Your Monster to Read. They can learn numeracy skills. They can learn to count or identify shapes through programs like Sesame Street again. They can learn social skills, learn how to cooperate by watching TV programs and using computer games and apps that show helping behavior. Examples include apps like Toka's Tea Party or websites like ABC for Kids. So in TV programs and computer games that show pro-social behavior, younger children are also more likely to show pro-social behavior. For older children, such as in elementary school, there are intellectual benefits. For example, children can develop problem-solving and critical thinking skills by playing computer games designed to develop those skills, or they can develop ethical thinking by comparing family values with the values in fiction or documentaries. They get educational benefits. For example, TV shows and movies based on books can encourage children to go read those books. There are social benefits. Joining online clubs can help children practice using social media safely, or playing computer games with friends and family can help them practice turn-taking and cooperation and keep them connected to friends and family. And there are creative benefits. They can develop skills in imagination, art, video modeling, music, media. There are all sorts of software meant to develop those skills. Or they might be inspired to make something by a TV show. For teenagers, media provides them an opportunity to develop and explore. Reading, writing, and critical thinking skills can be developed using blogs and chat rooms. Social connections, they can connect with other people, other teenagers on social media. Political and social awareness, watching news, current affairs, documentaries, reading about issues online. It can help them with their values, observing role models in the media. New creative forms. They can learn to play the guitar using YouTube videos or Guitar Tabs app. They can learn how to draw or make animations. They can use the media for support, for emotional support. They can use peer-based or professional online counseling. It also helps them with forms of self-expression. For example, by contributing to debates on websites or creating content like blogs or short videos, media can provide teenagers with a way to express themselves. Children can be media creators, not just media consumers. Making their own movies, taking photographs, and doing other creative online activities can help them develop critical thinking, social, technical, and artistic skills. This can also make them aware that their opinions and their decisions matter. So how do we help children get all these media benefits that I've talked about? Be involved with children and their use of the media. For example, you can visit quality websites together, encourage children to use educational software, and watch TV shows that offer extra learning opportunities, essentially guide them to good content. When you're watching TV and movies together, try discussing how the plot works, how the child feels about what's happening, what would happen in real life if you behaved like the characters in the show. You can also talk about how the people are actors and how special effects make things seem to happen. What is good media? Good media is a good story that doesn't depend on violence. It should teach about new things, places, animals, ideas, and cultures. These can inspire children to try new activities and think about new ideas. This can be done through playing, creating something, or finding out more about the topic. Good media should have good role models, people or characters doing things you wouldn't mind children copying. Remember, they copy what they see. Good media can expose children to diversity, especially ethnic diversity. Software, apps, and websites that get children drawing pictures or making up stories or rhymes can foster creativity. For preschoolers especially, this can be a way for them to express their ideas and feelings. Computer games that give young children simple choices, choosing a character or finding a background for a picture, can also help your child make creative decisions. The more interactive computer games and websites are, the better they are at helping your children learn more effectively. Avatars, which are the main characters in games, and the games can give older children and teenagers the opportunity to develop identity and empathy by letting them essentially try on different physical and psychological characteristics. They can live vicariously through their character and try out different things and ideas. So here's another discussion I'll post online. Do you feel media is mostly positive or negative influence on children? Why? Should we be limiting media use or just making sure the media they use is better? Again, I will post this online and I look forward to hearing what you think. That's all I have for the Digital Child.